And if there is a
Um,
weakness to omnipotence, what do you think the weakness to omnipotence is?
it would be Sarada. Short answer. The long answer, probably. I mean, I guess if you want to be technical, the weakness that Ada can't necessarily use it by herself, that's a weakness. If she had full control over it, we probably wouldn't be in a lot of the situations that we're in right now.
Good point. But I was kind of thinking of the jutsu omnipotence in like a in like its own category, not necessarily alongside Ada. I feel like of course Sarda would kind of be like this here. Like there'll be certain people that probably aren't under omnipotence that you don't necessarily know, or that Ada doesn't specifically know. But
Yes.
hypothetically, if there's like a brand new Otsuka member that comes with omnipotence that could control it 100% and probably would know if you're under omnipotence. I feel like I don't know if that could be like a legitimate weakness or not. I don't know.
It honestly seems like it's too OP. I think the author probably introduced it into the story away to where it's already like nerfed and handicapped. Like we're probably never going to see like a full power omnipotence because it gives you the ability to create and do whatever you want. So I don't necessarily think there's a weakness.
I was about to say that as well. It's possible that there is no weakness. One of the things that, well, first things first, we have to understand this is like a divine art. This isn't necessarily like a full on jutsu. The idea was every jutsu has a weakness. Every jutsu has a weakness. Not every shinjutsu has weakness. So
Yeah.
like this could be just a situation where, hey, divine art has no weaknesses, but also the fact that the omnipotence is supposed to be like a high version or a high ranking shinjutsu. It's supposed to be like one of the elite shinjutsus.
The
It's like
best
if a
of the
human
shit.
gets a hold of it, they can't just use it all willy nilly. Now they need an actual Otsuka member to use it. So yeah, the omnipotence, it might just not have a like a weakness.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
My bad, I'm muted. What if Sumire contains a weakness? Like, hear me out. Like she was introduced to two blue vortex. I mean, not two blue vortex. Excuse me. She was introduced to the manga. I think they said that they was supposed to. She wasn't supposed to be like a long running character or something like that. But they decided to keep her, and she was introduced to the manga. But she never really had no grandiose moment of her own. Her only moment so far is her being immune to the omnipotence, just like Sarda. So what if she has the key to like reversing it if it could be reversed?
Has Nue showed up in the manga?
Yeah, I think they're
I
like the
believe so. Yeah,
cheapy new way,
yeah, I believe so.
like on
Because I know the Sumire arc was only in the anime, and that's how we was introduced to Nue. So I'm thinking the only time we could have seen Nue in the manga was at the time when Boruto and them pulled up to Katsusuke at the lab, and they saw Sumire,
Yeah.
and we first
Uh,
saw her. Because I think in the
uh,
anime, Nue was in that scene. I'm trying to.
uh,
didn't like in the end when they was still like adapted a manga into the anime. They had a like scene where New Wake Loki attacked Kawaki. Wasn't that a
That
manga?
was in the anime though.
That was just anime only. It wasn't manga
Yeah, that was an
adaptation.
anime only episode. Yeah, in that
Okay.
part when Nue attacked Kaoki. But
I
that's
think
what I'm
she. I
saying.
think. I think he's been there. It's just he's been a little small version. You know, he's a little chibi dude, and he just sits on her shoulder. I think that's the
Nah,
only
I'm
way
I'm
we
I'm
see.
I'm gonna try to. Yeah,
yeah, I'm trying to look right now. I think it's like chapter either 17 or 18. I'm going to chapter 18 right
when they
now.
pull up on Dr. Katsusuke in the lab,
Yeah, yeah, chapter 18.
it will be able for me to like answer that question for you again if depending on has Nue been shown in the manga or not.
But even still, I still consider Nue to be like canon. Even
I
if
mean, I
he doesn't
think he's
necessarily
canon
show up in
too.
them. So off of that, I'd probably agree. Like that could be a reason as to why Sune is kind of like invulnerable to omnipotence, if I could use that word, invulnerable. But on a bigger point, that could be the weakness. The weakness could be the fact that it just doesn't necessarily impact Otsuki members. And if you know anything about Boruto, like Boruto is an Otsuki member and
Hmm.
Kawaki is an Otsuki member. So if those are the weaknesses, like that would be like a valid weakness throughout the series.
But you want to know what I always wondered? If maybe like maybe it was just the Shibai thing, and he got so powerful that he essentially created the ability. Momoshiki did say gods like plural, so more than one person has wielded omnipotence in the past. So it's kind of confusing if you're gonna have like such an all-powerful ability like that, right? But it's not gonna work on the race who wields the ability. So essentially, was it just made for them to take over other planets, or is it a failsafe for them to not essentially basically run the Otsutsuki clan itself into ruin? Which already looks like it is, because it looks like there's not that many members. The Otsutsuki itself, like they haven't made any efforts to like come to the earth. So it's kind of, you know, it's even iffy to say they're standing, whether it's like a full population or the clan itself is dying. But it's kind of weird that they have this omnipotent ability, right? And it doesn't work on the Otsusukis themselves. So it's like purposefully meant for like other world or like other, you know what I'm saying, other aliens or other species. It's just if they really are trying to go like outside, like Boruto go outer space, you know, they got to introduce like other planets, maybe other species outside of Otsutsuki, aside from just the humans and the Otsutsuki. Because like, who else would omnipotence be used on, or unless it's just constantly they come to Earth and use it just because.
I think they use it to like take over other planets. Like we seen Momoshiki what he was doing back in episode 15. Like he was basically just on another planet planting, or not even planting a god tree, already eating a fruit from a god tree, and basically saying that that planet was just like all just like completely decimated from all of his chakra. And he was basically saying, he made it seem like that was like a regular occurrence, like another planet with no chakra, like stuff like that. So I feel like that's probably why they use omnipotence. And there's a question like, does Momoshiki have omnipotence? I don't think so, but I do think it's like for the higher ranking Otsu members, so they could actually go around and like actually utilize it on like a bunch of planets, so they could actually collect the chakra fruits a lot quicker.
It makes sense. If you can literally do anything with the Shinjutsu, you can just say whatever to make your job easier. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I just thought that was weird. Like they should have
about like Momoshiki. Like Momoshiki is supposed to be like a prince or a king or a god or something of the Otsutsuki clan. And when he saw or he like witnessed omnipotence, he had to go back into the Otsutsuki library and do some research. You know, crack out the books, do a juror style and shit, and then come back and tell Boruto what it was. He didn't know it off the bat. So maybe it's something that's like really divine. It's something that's like 1 in a million that comes once in a lifetime to Otsutskis. It's not something that all of them will.
I was about to say, it came to him. It was the fact that Amado at the time was saying not omnipotence, but Ada's love ability was the Shinjutsu. So Momoshiki was trying to figure out what love ability is a Shinjutsu, but he's never heard of that type of ability. And then it made sense to him, like, oh, she could have used omnipotence to create this ability. So that's why he was like, oh, snap, like the lights went off, and then Boruto heard him starting to think.
So her charm ability is something that manifested from omnipotence, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's created through omnipotence. Like just like how the world sees Boruto as Kawaki and Kawaki as Boruto. It's through omnipotence.
Gotcha.
I mean, like it's cracked. So essentially, like even going back to Jordan's main point with all these sub points, like there's still no weakness, like because even the love ability itself, like taking away omnipotence, the love ability itself makes Ada probably the most dangerous person if she had evil intent, you know. So like, and that's a byproduct of omnipotence. So omnipotence,
but then again, like the weakness would be if she goes to an Otsutsuki dimension, she'd just be looked at as a regular bop. Like no one would really care.
That's crazy. Chill. Nah, it's in the sense of like going to other Otsusukis who would have the ability to wield omnipotence. Yes. Which is why I said the only weakness I can think of would be the fact that Ada herself can't fully control the ability, because that's a weakness. But aside from that, let's say like even just the fact that the love ability is a byproduct of her omnipotence, that puts her in a tier where she's essentially untouchable by almost everybody in the world. Any other, like in any other situation, she could have manifested what if she manifested the ability to be completely invulnerable to any physical and mental, spiritual, yin yang type of attacks, like basically real invincible. Like she could have manifested anything through that ability itself. But the love ability is what's making her so OP as a byproduct of the omnipotence, which shows us how powerful the omnipotence is. So even the weakness of her not being able to fully control it is not necessarily like, oh, it's something that you can exploit, because you can still see all of these OP results from a watered down or a weakened version of omnipotence being used by